So there I am enjoying a cup of coffee, minding my own little business when I open my email and I see this from YouTube. Video cannot be monetized. And then it tells me the name of the video. I don't care who you are. That's not the best way, I don't think, to start your morning. So I thought what I would do in this video is I would kind of walk you through what I did to dispute this outrageous claim. It wasn't outrageous, but it was bogus. And just so if this ever happens to you, and it might, you'll know exactly what to do. By the way, my name's Kevin Colby. So when you open the email, this is what I saw. Hi, Kevin Colby. Copyrighted content has been detected in your video. Change your YouTube thumbnail after upload. Here's how. Now, they go on to tell you the visibility of your video is not impacted, but you can no longer monetize it. The copyright owner is now either monetizing it or receiving analytics about it. This is not a copyright strike. I think that's the most important thing to pick out of here. It's not a copyright strike. This is a claim. It's a claim that, in this case, Soundstripe, and the music, the cut was called Common Sense by, looks like Danella Mustio. They're saying that I used the audio and I didn't have the right to audio, and they're claiming copyright. Now, the email goes on to say what I can do. Again, this is from YouTube. This is legit. I can either edit out the segment by trimming, muting, or replacing the copyrighted content. Well, there's music. It's a short video. There's music through the whole thing. That doesn't work. I could submit a dispute to the content owner if you have the rights. This is what I did. Or I can re-upload the video if you can remove the copyrighted content with your own tools. And then you click on that and it tells you what to do. I do think it's interesting that they give me the option of exploring creator music. If you're not sure what creator music is music inside your YouTube studio that YouTube gives you the rights to use only on YouTube. I think that's very clear. From what I understand, you can't download any cut from Creator Music and then decide to use it somewhere else. And there's also another service, and I just thought about this. I want to shout this out. My friend Nick Nimmin, he and his brother D have, I think it's called Creator Music. I could be wrong. I'll put a link to it down below, but they have their own music service. All copyright-free, all royalty-free, which is huge, something to think about. So I'll put a link down to that below if you're looking for music. Now, by the way, I want to show you the video in question. So this is the video. It was how to change your thumbnail after upload. Now, if you notice, it says I published this on October 5th, 2021. This video is several years old. I don't want to say this is a rampant problem yet on YouTube. I think it was probably more of a bot that was looking for it. I don't know exactly how it happened. I just think it's interesting that this video is several years old and all of a sudden the music that's been on it since day one is an issue. Since published, it had 90,000 views, 1,000-hour watch times. The video alone gained 344 subscribers and has made a big whopping, drum roll, $467.37. And it's got 106 views in the last 48 hours. Now, and by the way, besides the email, you do get a notification. So the little bell up there, it had a red dot. When I clicked it, it told me right there, video cannot be monetized, copyright issues found in, and again, the title of it, and then tap to resolve. When you tap that, it just takes you to a page on YouTube and it spells out everything about the video, the copyright. Sometimes, especially with music, they'll latch on to part of a song. I've seen that happen where, I might have used an entire cut of music, let's say a 4 or 5 minute cut of music, and for some bizarre reason, they claim like 12 or 13 seconds of it. I'm just making up, and that's happened before, and it's like, what? It's the same cut of music. So I don't always think these are legit, but if you notice, if you think back to the original email, which let me call that one up, it says content owners was Soundstripe. Honestly, I knew the minute I got this, I was going to dispute it because anything I use in my videos, I make sure, so here's your public service announcement for today. I make sure I have the rights to use it, especially music. First of all, I have too much respect for people that write music. Write music. Not go to AI and say, generate music. Write music. There is a difference. I have so many musician friends. So whoever this Daniel or Daniela is, you know, whatever he or she did, and they did the music, and, you know, they should get paid for it. But during this time period, I was using Soundstripe. I've used different music services over time, and I used Soundstripe. So I knew I had the rights to use the song. And in fact, you can actually have an agreement for each one. So it's kind of called whitelisting if you haven't heard of like this. So if you're using music in your videos, first of all, hands down, make sure you have the rights to use it. You don't have to, but you're in world trouble. You can't just go download music anywhere. Well, you can. You can download music anywhere and use it, and you're taking a huge risk because you don't own the rights to that. Now, again, the creator music inside of YouTube and the one I mentioned that Nick and Dee use, those are all completely 100% legit, but I would still read the terms of service and the usage because you want to make sure you're using it as you're supposed to. I'll talk about music. Every music service I've ever used, whether it was Storyblocks, whether it was Track Club, whether it was Soundstripe or Upbeat, every one of them, I made sure that I had the rights to use the music, where I had the rights to use the music, because sometimes I was using it on client work, and I wanted to make sure I had the rights to do that. And then I wanted to make sure my channel, I think they call it whitelisted. It's very simple. You just enter your channel ID, and what happens is, especially if you have a paid subscription, which I did on all of those, that every time that happens, your channel is listed, so therefore you shouldn't be getting these claims. Things happen. Well, again, it didn't even matter that I made a big whopping $400 something. I didn't know that much how much. I thought this is not right. So I filed a dispute. And once I filed a dispute, I get this from YouTube. Hey, the following claim on the video has been disputed. There's the name, the copyright, and everything, view details. If you click that, it just takes you into the YouTube studio. Then it asks you for the reasons. Well, that my video doesn't infringe anyone's copyright. I understand that the claimant will be able to review the video, and I also understand that if I'm making a fraudulent claim, that YouTube ain't gonna like it. Now, it tells you right there that Soundstripe has up to 30 days to review the information and take further action. If Soundstripe agrees with your dispute, they can release the claim at any time. If they disagree and choose to upload it, then the claim will remain active on your video. So I wasn't going to do nothing. Again, I didn't care whether the video had made $5. The fact is, I knew I had the rights to use that music and that I had used it, what I had downloaded in that. So I actually went to my old Soundstripe account, which was still active, even though I don't use them anymore. And I found the document for that video, and it was the rights to use it. In fact, let me show you exactly what it looks like. So I went to the cut in Soundstripe and I found this, and it says End User Copyright License Agreement. Subject to your compliance with the term, Soundstripe Inc. grants Kevin Colby a non-exclusive, limited, non-sublicensable, and non-transferable license to download, reproduce, prepare derivative works, distribute, perform, and display the song Common Sense, which that's the one that was in dispute, solely as combined with your work of authorship titled YouTube. And you can even see the date of the license, which fell far within the range of that video. So the one mistake I made is I filed the dispute, and then I thought, oh, let me see if I can find the agreement. So I did find the agreement. There's not any way that I see that you can actually add the agreement once you do it, because then you get that, you know, it's in dispute, and you'll find out something maybe could take up to 30 days. So something I did, and I've done this before, ironically, to me, what I have found, the best way to get in touch with YouTube is Team YouTube on X. You can send them a direct message. That doesn't guarantee they're gonna answer. And I just sent them a message, and I said, you know, this dispute is going. I filed it. I have the agreement. Is there some way I can upload it? They got back to me, and they said, you know, it's in process. Don't worry about it, because if it's released, you won't even have to do anything, and we'll let you know. I said, okay. But I also thought, well, why not reach out to Soundstripe? Because when I had Soundstripe, they were a cool organization, and I liked it. So I emailed Soundstripe, and I explained everything to them that, you know, during the time I had the subscription, I'd use this cut of music. Here was the agreement. here was I did a screenshot of the notice from YouTube, and I requested of them to remove the dispute. Still wasn't 100% clear to me whether it was Soundstripe or the composer on behalf of Soundstripe or some rogue bot out there. I don't know. I don't really care. And they emailed back and said, well, can you share the link to the video? And I'm like, well, duh, that would have helped. So I shared the link. I got an email the next day saying, well, we see that the release has that the dispute, the claim has been released. And I'm like, what the heck? So I check my email, and this is the email I get. Hey, Kevin, good news. After reviewing your dispute, Soundstripe Inc. has decided to release their copyright claim on your YouTube video. If you earned any money during the dispute, you should receive that money as part of your next YouTube payment. Estimated revenue data for the time period was in dispute will be added to your YouTube analytics at the end of the month. Thanks, the YouTube team. There's the notifications inside your studio. I had a new notification. There was a little dot there. I open it and it says claim resolved. So it just kind of backs up. So either way, YouTube lets you know. Now, I will tell you this. I'd already decided this. If I lost the challenge, I was going to take the video down. I mean, if you think about it, the video has only made $467, which I don't sneeze at. That's good money. And it was some good views and some good watch time, and it had gained a lot of subscribers and was still getting views. At this point, the video had done what the video was going to do. So had I lost the dispute, knowing that I would have had the rights to use the music, I wasn't just going to hand over the money in the analytics and go, oh, well, thanks anyway, even though I had the right to do it. So you got to fight for your right. I don't want to say to party, but, you know, to win and things like that. So hopefully this helps you if it ever happens, and hopefully it won't. And there you go. So use stuff the right way and fight when you need to, and have a great today.